So I just got out of Blog TV where I was talking with Jack, Together for Peace, and explaining to him that I don't consider myself an anti-theist because of my intentions, coming from the perspective of skepticism, whereby it's only that I do not accept unverifiable claims. And if an anti-theistic action is committed by me, if it doesn't mean that my intents were to be an anti-theist. It doesn't mean that that's my core belief system. If a theist were to present me with verifiable claims, I would accept them. So, Jack and I talked for a little while, and then J. Delphic 42 was brought into the call, Julian, and he asked me a few questions. First one was, do I believe in empiricism? And I said yes. And second one was, do I believe in the God of the gaps? Arguments, anything that comes from that. No, I don't. So, if I take things that are empirically verifiable to be facts, and I don't take anything from the God of the gaps, then if I ask someone to prove the existence of their God, what am I asking for? Because one of the properties of their deity is, I suppose, being outside of the realm of reality. It's not something that you can test with any physical experiment. Anything empirical that you would have to be able to test this notion would not be able to give you any readable information because it's outside of the realm of this physical universe. So, what am I asking for? Is basically what he's saying. Why am I rejecting someone's claim that a God exists when I can't, use any of the methods that I'm using to accept facts to ever possibly accept the fact that a God exists? So, what I'm saying is, now, after thinking about this for 30 minutes, is if you are not using empirical evidence to base your claim that God exists on, what compelling reason do you have for believing in your God? Another question that I have is, did your God intercede into this physical universe to plant the knowledge of the existence of him in this universe? Does he have the ability? Is he omnipotent? Does he have the ability to transform something not empirical into something empirical for us to test it? Did your God intercede directly with you and write the fact that he exists on your brain somehow, physically or chemically, so that you know? And is that how it happened? What compelling reason do you have for me to believe in your God? If you don't have one, even outside of the realm of empiricism, go to another realm of constructing knowledge. All right? You go outside the realm of science. Give me a compelling reason for believing in your God. Anyways, I think that what this is actually boiling down to, in my experience, is that if you were to take away all of the defining characteristics of, say, the Christian God or the Islamic God or any other God, and just boil it down to deism, just take all the definitions of the God away and just say you generally feel like a God exists, but you have no definition for it, then really I can't argue against it. And that's what I'm saying. I am not an anti-theist. I came to atheism by way of skepticism. So it's only when these definitions that give properties to this God, like this God actually intercedes in people's lives, or this is the God that when you pray for something, something happens. Oh, when 100,000 people all pray, about something in their own lives, you can see that the people who prayed and were in favor with God had better results than the people who didn't pray. Stuff like that. And there are many people who believe that their God does intercede in this world physically, where we could empirically test it. There are people who believe that you can pray to God for money. I call them con artists. There are people who believe that you can pray to God for healing the sick. Faith healers. I call them con artists. So those are my thoughts on what went down. I hadn't seen someone ask me exactly that way. Like, what are you asking people for to prove their claim of God if you only accept empirical evidence and intrinsically their God is not empirical? But if you look at the way that people's gods are defined, any time that you find any intercessory action by that God in our lives, I think that's something that's empirical. That's something that physically happened. And we don't see as much of that intercession that can be taken as fact anymore. Now that we have people who are right on the scene to try to prove anything paranormal. We have people with video cameras everywhere, and I think less and less we're going to see stories like turning water into wine, or walking on water, or parting a sea, or flooding the whole world, and people being dead for 3 days and then coming back to life. I think less and less we will hear stories about these kinds of things, because we are relying more on verifiable evidence to determine what facts we will accept. And less, it seems, the Christian God intercedes in the world at all. A whole book full of miracles, and none of them really happened in the last 400 years since we started using empiricism to really base what we agree are facts on. So thanks for coming at me in a new angle as to what my beliefs are. And hope to see a response.